Ahsoka was the third wheel.
She was the third wheel and she knew it.
I find your lack of faith.
We'll talk about it.
Could have said that. Ahsoka was the third wheel. Did she know it?
Should we restart?
That's on you. Myself, chat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another canon-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Star Wars Forces of Destiny Season 2. I don't have enough room. We got a lot of voicemails today, but not as much as previous weeks. So
are they all VCU?
No, we have.
Or is it like half and half?
There's one that's regular.
Oh,
the other one, I don't know if it was meant to be VCU or not. I'm saying it's not VCU, and then
sad.
then the rest are
VCU
stuff. So
is it pretty juicy? I think I saw something in the chat.
There's some juicy stuff, and you're really gonna like some of the stuff that we got tonight. We got humor, we got drama. Ooh. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry.
Die. Jerica, it was nice. No, I'm just
what? All right. Well, anyway, so before we jump into tonight's episode, we wanted to go over some Star Wars news stuff that's gonna have a major effect on us. So it was announced last week that the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is going to be delayed by 2 days. Rather than airing the first episode on Wednesday the 25th, the first 2 episodes are going to be aired on Friday the 27th.
Yeah.
And so I am not happy about this at all because
I was happy until you mentioned why you weren't happy. And I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of annoying.
One, even if it, apart from the other reasons why, but there's going to be so many people that are at Star Wars Celebration that weekend.
Oh,
and
true.
They're going to be forced to watch it on their phone or a computer or something in their hotel.
Is a really stupid.
Like,
yeah, you're right. That's dumb.
I know they're trying to have like the hype of like, unless they're going to like air it like at.
I mean, they
thing,
might
like in a big stadium where everyone can watch it, but
that'd be fire. That'd be dope.
But the audio would echo so much in there, like it would just be terrible. Like, I don't know.
What if they have like a theater that's like, hey, by the way, we rented out this movie theater, this AMC down the road. If you show that you're part of Star Wars Celebration,
20,000 people show up for like
just constantly throughout the whole thing, throughout the whole day.
But yeah, so I think that's just kind of lame for the fans that are going to be at Star Wars Celebration, because most of them there are not going to be able to watch it on a good TV or whatever. They have to watch on their phone, an iPad, or a laptop or something, which I think is just disappointing for that. But also, that means now for our fans of the podcast that are going to be excited about
it means
this,
we're not going to Star Wars Celebration now, guys. No,
well, there's that too.
we are going
to. But that means we're going to have to do 2 deep dive episodes that weekend. Probably Friday night and then Saturday night or something like that. Yeah. But then also we're going to have all kinds of new Star Wars news that we're going to have to cover, and possibly trailers of things, teaser trailers of things. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Bad Batch trailer and an Andor trailer.
I don't think we're getting Andor. We probably will get like the making or something dumb.
No, we already had that for Andor though, so they're not going to do that a second time. So I think we'll get an Andor
Celebration. This is the first time in what, 2-3 years?
Didn't they have one last year?
No, they canceled it.
They canceled one 2 years ago.
No, this is the first one since then. They pushed. I think no, 2 years ago they canceled it and they pushed it to this year.
Is that what it was? Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's been so
because
long.
it's in the same location. Because the
Right.
last one was in Chicago.
Okay, but either way, and then we're gonna have. So I think we'll probably have at least 2 or 3 teaser trailers or full length trailers that we're gonna have to cover, and all the news. And so, like, we're gonna be busy that weekend recording stuff because we can't delay. Like, if we okay, we're gonna talk about this trailer in 3 weeks after we do all this other stuff first. Like, it's not gonna be fun. So like, we have to do like everything that weekend, which is gonna make me be editing 4,000 videos that weekend and stuff like that. So, all because they're putting the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan on that Friday. So
Yeah. Yep.
and so we're not happy about it, but it is what it is, and we still don't know what the schedule is going to be after that. Is it going to be on Wednesdays or Fridays? Because there's mixed reports.
Yeah.
And so
we'll have to figure out exactly when though. If it's going to be on Wednesday or Friday, I'm kind of hoping it's Fridays just so that we don't have to do another episode on a Wednesday again like that quickly. That's gonna. I mean,
right.
I know you guys love this, and like a lot of other people like that do just come to watch our like show breakdowns. They probably will love this as well. But like Jeremiah said, it is a busy weekend. One, it's a holiday weekend, so
That
I know
too.
like when we do live streams,
and
like,
I forgot to say, Stranger Things season 4 comes out that weekend, and that
that
makes
was
me mad
another reason
too.
why you were pissed. I forgot
Oh
about
gosh,
that.
I was like, Friday I'm gonna get home from work, I'm gonna binge almost the whole season, and
No,
finish it Saturday.
you're working. Jeremiah, you're on the
And
clock.
so I'm hoping that because Monday is Memorial Day, so I won't have to work. So I'm hoping we don't have to record on that day, so I can binge. I
Stranger
guess it's
Things that
technically the first volume of season 4 because it's like an extra long season. So there's
Is it extra long or is it?
I
Just
think it's 12 episodes or something. So there's 6 and 6.
Oh,
And so we'll be getting the first half of Stranger Things. So I'm gonna binge that on Monday, hopefully, if we can have a break. But I don't know. I'm just mad about that too. So I've been waiting 3 years since the last season.
It's just a busy weekend, holiday weekend. Like, I know my wife wanted to do something.
You're like,
honey,
sorry, babe.
Honey, if you're listening to this, your boy's working a lot.
So yeah, that's the news about Obi-Wan, Star Wars Celebration and stuff. So keep in mind that weekend you'll be getting a lot of episodes of Empire Radio, a Star Wars podcast. So
yeah, so the watch parties will probably announce them in Discord when they go out. And if you're not in the Discord, maybe
join.
Just honestly join. If not, just go to twitch.tv/Empire Radio, hit that follow button so that you know when we go live, and then you can guys see that we're live. That weekend, when you're out with your family, just have your phone up and watch our stream if you want, because we're gonna be streaming at least once or twice, if not 3 times, probably 4 times that weekend. But I mean, if it's like maybe we might push one of the trailers to a Tuesday to break down or something. Like
I don't know.
Bad Batch or something. The biggest thing is we got to focus on these shows,
right?
Because, but I'm trying to think. Watch parties. I will be doing both of them probably in a row, which I haven't done that either. So
here's the thing, but you can't do them in a row though, because I'm gonna watch one episode on Friday and then one next episode on Saturday, because I don't want to have to. That will influence my thoughts on the first episode if I already know what's going to happen in the next episode. So we can't. Ooh. We have to record the first episode before we watch the second episode.
Ooh, that's a good point. So I lied to you, chat. We're not going to do a double watch party. We'll do one. I think I might take that Friday off, dude. I might have to. I might just take that Friday off. It's a holiday weekend, make it double. Make it a longer weekend.
Yep.
Do you work Saturday too?
Of course.
Oh. Well,
I'll have Monday off, but that's for Stranger Things. And Sunday.
Well, I hope you guys are excited. because we're stressed. But no, it's gonna be dope. Also, with more news, real quick, ICCC Con, me and Andrew are gonna be there. Tanner's gonna be there as a hanging out with us as well. If you are going to ICC's Con in Nashville, it's in what 3 weeks from now, something like that,
The last weekend
of this month,
this month, and then it's the
first day on
of
May
May.
May 1st to May 1st. So come say hi if you are there. We're also doing a live podcast in a conference room, and you can also watch that on their social medias, which is their Facebook and their YouTube at ICCC. And we'll also share that link too, so you can watch the live podcast with me and Andrew, and it'll be pretty fun. We're excited to go and see a lot of stuff, and literally a lot of the people that are going to be at Star Wars Celebration is actually going to be at this con first, so we'll get to see a lot of these people before, which is pretty cool. So not going to go to Star Wars Celebration, but we get to still see these people, so it's pretty exciting. One day we'll go to Star Wars Celebration.
Want to win a $500 million
or
Powerball.
in the next time, because they're
It's at
probably not
like-
going to do one next year. But
It's at like 250 million right now. So
ooh, and climbing.
you give a couple more months, and then it might be at the 500 mil
Well,
mark. And I'll
we
buy a
always
ticket.
wish you luck, Jeremiah.
Yep.
Or we'll get him for free because press. But anyways, this breakdown.
Yes. So Star Wars Forces of Destiny Season 2. So this season was definitely different in two ways. So first season episodes were like 4 or 5 minutes long, including credits. And this season episodes are like 2 or 3 minutes long with credits. So these episodes were a lot shorter. And I noticed that the animation was different. And I think it was like a step back. Like it wasn't as
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was better.
Really?
I didn't get the nose marks.
No, yeah, we did.
You did? I don't know. I thought it was better. The thing that I recognized that was different is that 2 episodes were about not females.
Right. There's one about Luke being trained by
Luke
Yoda.
one,
And
yeah.
what was the other one?
The other one was Chewbacca and R2.
Oh, right. Right. So they deviated from their female only stories, but it was still 14 of the 16 were female stories. So it's not too big of a deal, but they're still interesting stories. And like I said, from season 1, these are all canon things. And there's some that, especially one, that adds a very interesting detail to canon, which we'll get into. But let's jump into what we did last week. We'll just do them in order. So first episode, Hasty Departure. And this one is about Hera and Sabine. And so basic story is they are trying to steal an Imperial shuttle from a base, and they accidentally steal the wrong one while Chopper is on the correct one. And so, and the one that they accidentally steal is full of stormtroopers. So they're flying through the air trying to escape, but there's stormtroopers in there. And then Hera just kind of like spins around and topples them all over the place, and they're banging all over each other. And then Chopper flies the other ship to them.
And let it crash and they all die.
Yeah, like they break off. Hera releases the front windshield of the ship, and then they jump out the front. But like, I thought, because she shoots the control panel, doesn't she? Like,
yeah, it literally is going down and it's on fire. Like,
right. But it's just like you would think that they would let them live. Like, okay, you can just fly the ship yourself. Like, I didn't think they would be so brutal. Like,
Yeah,
Chopper
and-
would have done that. But
well,
I didn't
and
think
what's
Hera would do
interesting
that.
too is that like they haven't throughout these episodes they don't kill anyone. Like they make it a point that they don't die. Like people
Right,
don't die.
these are supposed to be
These are really child friendly.
really child friendly, but this one was they definitely killed those guys.
Yeah, these guys did. Say.
And so, and again,
Well,
I think this one
I also
took
like
place.
that what's her name was shooting through the window.
Yeah, and
trying to
Hera's
break
like,
it. Hera's
"Don't
like,
do that.
"Are
Just
you
push the
dumb?"
button." But I'm gonna assume that this one was after the events of Rebels. Again, I don't know for sure, but I don't know. It could have been at
It's
any point.
yeah, it's kind of hard
Again,
to
Sabine
tell.
looked older than she did in Rebels. It just seemed like so. Like that's why I think that. But
Also, Hera is the one that does shoot the control panel, so she kills all these people. Let's be real.
right,
They
so
die. Like you're not surviving that. The ship goes sideways. Like
yep. So that was the first episode. And like we said, these episodes are a lot shorter, so there's less to talk about. So that went pretty quick. So episode 2 now is Unexpected Company. And this one was kind of funny because I think so. The premise is Anakin is being taken on a mission with Padme, and it's just supposed to be the two of them. But then Ahsoka was sent to join. Who sent them? Was it? I forget who told her to join the mission, but
I'll be there in like a second.
but
I don't think it actually.
so like this
does.
this mission that Padme and Anakin were supposed to go on, it seemed to imply like it was just, huh?
Obi-Wan sent her.
Okay, so like it seemed to imply that they just wanted a getaway, just the two of them, and Ahsoka showed up and was the third wheel, which we referenced at the opening, and so Anakin was not happy about that, and then Padme was like, "Oh, we'd love to have you," and so, and then but while they're flying to certain coordinates, they land right in a spot where there's separatist ships, and clearly they get surrounded and they're being like attacked, and then
Well, because Anakin wanted to go a different route that they're not supposed to go because of the ships, but he forgot about that. But he wanted to go fast to get it over with because he's like, "There's no point now to go slow on this trip because Ahsoka's here, so it doesn't matter anymore."
yeah. So when
And
they get attacked, Padme gets thrown back, and then Anakin catches her and embraces her, and so no one's flying the ship, and so then Ahsoka has to jump to the controls and get them out of there, and so she saves the day in a sense, which is, and they're like happy that she came because they saved their life. She saved their lives, but Anakin is embracing Padme very romantically,
yeah,
and
it's not like
Ahsoka
a
sees
hug.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ahsoka sees that. So right there, I felt like, okay, Ahsoka knows or something, like definitely, because we didn't really get too much of that in Clone Wars, where she kind of like puts stuff together, like where she has that interaction. Because like at the end of the episode, what did she say? She says something like,
No,
Padme
Padme
says,
says that those you two are good together.
and then Ahsoka
And then,
says, "I think you two are good together."
yeah,
Like, so it was
she knows.
definitely, she kind of maybe in that moment connected dots and then realized what was actually going on. But
Will in the chat said, yeah, she has to know. Yeah, I think she knows. I know that Obi-Wan knows, which is why Obi-Wan sent her.
that could be
Like,
true.
but isn't it like to a point, like at a certain point that, well, I mean, in episode 3, he knew that she was pregnant by Anakin. Like,
Well, yeah, after he asks
yeah,
her, but and then in season 7 of the Clone Wars, we have a more direct thing when during the Bad Batch arc,
yeah,
when Anakin's talking to Padme privately, and then he makes that comment like, "I hope you said hi to Padme for me." Like, so like he in that moment knew too. So like, I don't know. They could have stopped Anakin from turning to the dark side if they just kind of intervened, but it's always in hindsight things look better. But anyway, that was episode 2, Unexpected Company. Now I'm sure you love this next one, Drew. Shuttle Shock. So this one actually takes place during episode 8. The Last Jedi.
Yep.
And so when Poe, or not or Poe,
Finn.
Finn and Rose are on their way to Canto Bight,
Mhm.
they have an encounter with these giant rainbow-colored jellyfish flying through space, and it makes their shuttle get
Shocked.
shocked. They get electrocuted by these things, and BB-8 is the only one that can save him, but he gets shocked too. And so Rose does her best to bring him back to life so that
Which
he can.
I just find it so weird that when they went, like, Rose or Finn don't know how to fly a ship.
Well, Finn doesn't know for sure
Yeah,
because he
but
was
why
just
is that a character trait for him? Like that he
what?
literally brings nothing to the table.
Because he wasn't a pilot. He
No,
was
but
a
okay,
trooper.
I get that, but what does he bring to the table then? What character trait of Finn brings? Like, what does he bring to the table?
For his character, like overall.
Yeah.
Well, he's a defector. He's a defector, so he has insight for the workings of the First Order because he might be the only one that's a defector that we know that's in the
Okay.
Resistance.
All right.
And at this point, he's only been out of the First Order for a few days, and he's just
Oh, that's true.
he didn't even want to be a part of the Resistance, but he wants to help Rey, right? What are they trying to do? The Codebreaker? Oh, they're trying to
Don't
I don't
ask
know.
me.
Because they're trying to go to Codebreaker to figure out how to change the things about the hyperdrive tracking or whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Like, the more and more you break down his character, it's like they could have made his character so good. They could have done so much with his character be as a defector. Like, even that first trailer, we've talked about this before, but that first trailer made him seem like he was a Jedi person. Like, he was gonna be really cool, First Order defector who was actually force sensitive, a Jedi. Like, and they kind of just like throw his character in the trash, and it sucks.
yeah, well, it was mainly the third movie that they did that. They could have made him better in the third movie.
The second one, all you did was go to a place and do nothing.
All right, but
Like, his story arc is.
anyway, that's not the point of this episode. The point of this episode is that this is a little story that takes place on their trip to Canto Bight.
I didn't like hate it, Jeremiah, just
so-
because they're going to Cantobite. I thought
Okay.
Rose's art doesn't really look the best, the drawing of her, but it's whatever. It just made Poe feel like he was stupid. That's all I got out of it.
What? I didn't even think of Poe at all. How do you get?
I mean, not Poe, Finn. It just made Finn, like, to me, like, as a character, seem stupid. I don't know why.
Yeah, but if you've never been trained to fly a ship, like it
True.
would have been anyone. So
That's fair. And when you broke it down in that fact that it's been like a week.
less than a week. It's been like a long weekend, like holiday weekend time. It's only been like
so much to do, and like.
But I'm saying like that's one of the reasons why the
that is
sequel trilogy sucks is because the first two movies take place
within like
a span of
days.
like 4 days or something, and you don't
Yeah.
get any like story development from it. Like it's too fast paced. Then they jump 2 years to like the 9th movie, and like
Yeah.
then it could have been like a week, and it wouldn't have mattered. So, but anyway,
Yep.
Shuttle Shock, it just adds a little extra detail to episode 8, kind of like with the first season with Han, Rey, and Chewie with the bomb that was in the Millennium Falcon that they kind of on their way to Maz's castle. They had to disarm that and get rid of that. So it's similar feel of where it's just like a little simple story of something that happened on the ship while they're in transit to another place. Because in the movies, it seems like they hit hyperspace and then takes 3 seconds and they're there, but
they had a little struggle.
It can take hours or days during these trips. So there's that. So episode 4, Jin's Trade. And so this one was kind of whatever. It was just some kid steals Jin's kyber crystal necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Jin chases the kid. I don't even know if it was the kid was supposed to be a boy or girl. I don't even know.
I think it was a boy. Because she says, "Oh, that boy is clever."
Okay. And so the kid just wanted food because Jin was buying fruit, and then the merchant was like, "Well, how much do you want for this kyber crystal necklace?" And she's like, "It's not for sale." So the kid overheard that, I think,
Yeah.
and knowing that it was worth a lot, and so when Jin catches him, gives him a piece of fruit. Oh, you're just hungry. So
It's kind of hard to do anything with her character because she's dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they don't want to mess with her character too much in like actual canon because we know the outcome of her character. So I think that's why they didn't really do anything with her character. You think we were gonna get her in the Andover series at all?
no, because no one knows of her by that point.
True, but it's the same. She could be around. Like, what if we just see her in the passing, walking by or something?
Oh, we could, but that'd be stupid.
True. But
And
it's
it's
possible.
already been renewed for second season, even though the first season hasn't aired yet. So
Has it really?
yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No. When
Like
was this announced?
Like
That's
2 months ago or something
How
like
did we
that.
not announce that?
Because it's just
I
pointless
hate.
rumor.
I don't know. So it's not real.
Well, no, it's real. I'm saying it was a pointless tidbit. Like it has no effect on. We would just say, "Hey, they announced the second season. All right,
It
Go
still frustrates me that they ruined the end of Bad Batch season 1 because they already announced that they're doing a season 2. It still bothers me.
okay,
They should have just let it tell us at the end like they did with the Book of Boba.
okay."
But
Go listen to our Bad Batch breakdowns
do it if you haven't.
and my Bad
Also-
Batch fan fiction.
Yeah, season 3 coming out soon.
No, that's not in the works. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to the finale, the series finale season.
Come on, you got to do it before they make season 3 so you can predict it. You're 2 seasons ahead right now.
So I still got another like 2 years then.
Yeah,
before we
you're
gotta worry about
fine.
that.
But you got to do it before they do it.
I don't know. We'll see how much they steal from my
That's what I'm saying.
other stuff already because they've already done it. but
They've already
whatever.
stole like the entire plot. They have 2
All
years worth.
All right, so that was episode 4, Jin Straight. So next one, episode 5, Run Ray Run, and I like this one. This was an interesting.
Yeah, that was fine.
So it's just an interaction between Ray and Tito, which is I like it because it adds more story to when we see Tito with BB-8 in The Force Awakens, and Ray already knows. Like we can see that they have like a history, but we don't know what that history is. But here it adds more to the history. So we did that in the first season. They had some interaction, and then here it's even more interaction where. So Ray is scavenging through a Star Destroyer, classic Ray, and while she finds a bunch of stuff, Tito shows up and wants to steal everything. And there's one part that Ray tries to take that if she takes it's going to cause the whole place to collapse, and so she doesn't take it. But Tito doesn't realize that because he got there a few seconds after she figured this out.
Yeah, he followed Ray and said, "Give me your bag." Pretty much stole from her, and then saw one more and was like, "Ooh!"
And takes that, and then they all have to run. And then he gets knocked down and trapped. And then Ray, that was funny. Ray had to pick him up and run out this thing, and she was running fast, jumping high, jumping crazy, carrying this guy.
If someone robbed you, they get injured right after they robbed you, to the point where they couldn't walk and they're in danger. Would your first response be, "Hey, let me carry you
Yeah,
to safety"? Okay, well you're a better
I'm
man
sorry.
than me.
I love my enemies. Okay, I don't know about you, but anyway.
Just
So
saying, Ray's a really good person. That's
better than you. But yeah, so
the guy still tries to rob.
So So she saves his life, and then he still wants to steal his stuff, and he gives it back, right?
Yeah, because she said, "I saved your life," and then he was like, "I guess I won't rob you. Here's your purse." It's
But
like,
I don't know. I like that. It just adds more history to what we know of them, so that it gives more context in Force Awakens.
yeah. I think
But
it's funny too that in this he's wearing flip flops.
oh, he is.
Yeah,
Oh, I
like
didn't even
thong
notice.
sandals. Like, it's pretty
Crazy
funny.
stuff. So that was that episode, Run Ray Run. So episode 6, it was a game changer, Bounty Hunted, and so
This is a really cool episode.
this one takes place between episodes 5 and 6, probably just before episode 6, and it's Leia, Chewbacca, and R2D2. And so I'm looking at the details on Wikipedia. They're on Ord Mantell.
Oh.
So this is where we have a lot of time spent in the Bad Batch, and where they're based out of. And so they go there to meet with Maz Kanata,
And she looks younger.
a solid
How many years younger?
40 or 30. Oh yeah, 30 years. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, well, she's already like 900 years old, so it's not like.
I mean, it could be the drawing, but it kind of seemed like she has like 2 less wrinkles on her face, you know.
Maybe. So, they go looking for Maz.
First of all, she's still dating Chewie too.
Oh yeah, sees Chewie. Oh, my boyfriend. How's my boyfriend doing? Blah blah blah. So there's that still going on. I still want to know more about what that's all about.
Or do we?
Let
it be.
And so while they're meeting up with Maz, like because they meet her to like figure out how they can get Han
back.
And so while they're talking, a bounty hunter shows up, and this bounty hunter is Boosh, which is when we get to episode 6, and Leia is disguised. She is disguised as the bounty hunter Boosh, and so this bounty hunter shows up, and they fight each other, blah blah blah, and then obviously Leia wins, and so it's implied that Maz is like, well, what better way for disguise than to be this big name bounty hunter, and so she takes Boosh's attire, and so that's how she gets that for episode 6, which I thought was a great little tidbit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I like that. So that adds to that, because it's like you get to episode 6 and Jabba the Hutt and everybody knows like this is like
a
big name bounty hunter. I guess it's not a surprise. So that's cool how they got this. And then on Bush's attire or whatever had a thermal detonator, which Leia uses in episode 6. So
well, and Leia's like, when she saw it, even she's like, oh, that could come in handy,
right?
So like it seems like she already was thinking how to do it,
right? See, it'd been better if a lot of these episodes were more like this, were more directly tied to like the bigger story. Like some of them do, some of them are kind of
like the Rebel ones, like you said, like they're cool, but you don't know where they fit.
Right.
Like you don't know where the timeline is, or like the Poe or the Finn one. Like it's cool because we know where it is. Like we know, like that does add more character, like things to that story. And I think that's like with this one. I like this one probably my favorite one because it is pretty cool detail. I think it's funny that they don't kill anyone, but then they'll steal their entire clothing. But no,
but so it doesn't like change the story, but it adds to the story where it gives more context, which is always.
I think it changes it in the sense like I never thought that she was trying to disguise herself as a bounty hunter. I just thought maybe she said like, hey, I'm a bounty hunter and I have Chewbacca, which is a high bounty. Not to the point where she
you didn't know? You didn't realize that
Not
Bush
to
was
the point
already.
where they knew that. Yeah, I never realized that.
Oh, that's a thing.
Well,
Because it's Bush. Like that was like a known. Does it say
That's a
Bush
name?
in the movie? Right.
I don't remember that. Maybe Chewbacca says it, and I didn't read
I
it.
think the name Bush is stated, and that's why everyone's like, why it's a real disguise, because it could have just been any random person. It could have been.
Well, yeah, but I
And
just
so
thought
like
it
the
was a
fact that
random
they
person that
know,
had Chewie.
but since they knew the disguise as a bounty hunter,
Yeah.
that it wasn't like, oh, who is this person? They weren't worried.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's that episode. So the next episode is The Path Ahead. And so this one is actually just Luke and Yoda on Dagobah when they're training. And so Luke is just running through trees and up in the trees and on branches, and he's not doing too great. And so then Yoda's like, all right, well, I'm going to come with you. And he jumps in the backpack, and just Yoda doing his lesson of like learning how to sense things and let go and all that jazz. And Luke is able to learn how to run across branches with his eyes closed because he can sense where the branches are. And so Yoda teaches him that. And so it's just more of his training that we didn't see, which is an interesting thing, because it seemed like, which is weird, is it seems like this was before the stuff that we see in the movie, but it kind of contradicts in the sense that Luke learned more to have faith in the Force at this point, but then if this takes place before, it doesn't make sense why he didn't have faith to like lift the X-Wing out of the swamp. But I don't know. I guess it doesn't totally contradict, but it just seems like it would have made more sense. It would have made more sense if it took place after, but it implied that this was the first time Yoda was in his backpack. But whatever, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Also, Jabba doesn't say that bounty hunter's name. I just watched it. So,
like it says it. I'm fairly confident someone says it.
I just watched the whole thing.
I knew. How did you watch that whole scene in like 2 minutes?
That scene is only 2 minutes long. It's not that long.
It's not just in that scene. It's said somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Well, in that scene. Then.
Because I've known the new name Bush before.
Oh. Then I believe you. I've never heard that name before. So.
Well, I guess I have to go watch the whole first 20 minutes.
Well, I will on May 4th. I'll
Reflex, but okay.
You should too. It's our national holiday.
I'll be working on
Wednesday.
Well, because that Monday is sorry. No, I'll be off. Sorry, I'm getting my weeks. I get Star Wars Celebration mixed up now. Sorry, I'll be off.
Yeah, you'll be off.
I'll be off. But anyway, so that was The Path Ahead.
Yes.
Episode 8 is Porg Problems, and this one was kind of lame. Rey's trying to train, lifting rocks, and then
lightsaber out of her purse, just hanging out in the corner behind her.
Porgs just steal the lightsaber. Rey chases them and then uses the Force to catch the one with the lightsaber and pulls him back to get the lightsaber back. And then all the other Porgs are like, Force hold us up in the air like you did the other one. That was pretty cool. And that's what it seemed like. Do me next.
Yeah.
So it was just whatever. She's just training. And this is during episode 8. Because she's on, what's the name of the planet? I should know this.
It says in the beginning of it. Doesn't it? Maybe not.
I forget the name of the planet. I should know this.
This is that island where
Luke's on. But
milk the cow. And
so it takes place during that scene before she leaves. So there's that. Pretty quick. But whatever. And that was with credits, 1 minute and 32 seconds. So it was a very quick episode. So
True.
episode 9.
This is
Huh?
this is after 8 already came out, right? Like in real life, like when they made this season
This
2.
is March 2018. So this was 4 months later. 3 months later.
This
All right,
one
so
was cool.
Next one, Chopper and Friends. So this takes place after the Battle of Endor when they're on Endor, and there's some stray TIE fighters in the area, and so Hera needs to go and like take them out with Chopper, but there's two Ewoks that get on the
Were you
ship
gonna
as
say
well.
Ewees?
I don't know what I was about to say. I'll see it back in post what I said, but so yeah, then the Ewoks jump on board, but like she has no one to get the gunners or sit in the gunner position, so the Ewoks go, and they can't even like. It's like a kid trying to like drive a car, like their feet can't reach the pedals.
Yeah.
Like they can't like reach everything. They're just like pushing
It
buttons.
reminds me of when they were in the chicken walker, and
Right.
he was like not yeah.
And so then they end up shooting one, and then it crashes into the other one or something. Or they shoot both of them. I can't remember. But
I'll watch it in 5 seconds.
But the Ewoks, they prove themselves to Hera when Hera didn't believe in them. Which, usually Hera's like a motherly figure that knows how to encourage people and support people. Like, you got this.
Because as soon as they started shooting, they were shooting all over the place, and Hera was like, "Oh, whatever you guys are doing, keep doing it, because it's distracting them." Or like,
Yep.
Yeah.
But never underestimate an Ewok, right?
Nope. Like Home IT said in the chat, how can you not like Ewoks, right? The Ewok show is like the best. Go watch it.
Definitely.
They just shot both of them.
Okay. So that was Chopper and Friends. Another quick thing. I like the ones that take place on Endor after.
Yeah, this other one that's in this season is really good. I liked it a lot because that monster is pretty cool.
Right. So, speaking of monsters, next one, Monster Misunderstanding. This takes place on the planet of Naboo. During some point in the prequel era. And so what is interesting is we see the bigger fish from episode 2. So I went back and watched that bigger fish scene in episode 2. This monster that's trying to get on land and break into this facility is that same bigger fish, that species. I don't know if it's the same exact one, but it's definitely the same species. Because I was like watching this and I was like, this looks familiar.
Yeah, it's the one that ripped it in half.
But I was like, at first, in this cartoon version, it reminded me of. Do you remember the Godzilla movie from like the year 2000? Remember that one?
Yeah.
It reminded me of that design of Godzilla, like the face. I was like, looks like Godzilla, the janky Godzilla from the year 2000. And then I was like, wait, is this the bigger fish?
Yes.
So I wouldn't go back and look at the scene, and it looks very similar. So, because it's like not really a fish because it has arms, but
from the way that her outfit, it made me think that this is like right after they took Naboo back.
Maybe was she referred to as Queen Amidala? Because if it's Queen, then I don't know how long after episode 1 she stepped down as Queen. Because 13 years later, or 10 years later, was it 10 years? 13?
They said Your Majesty, so yeah, she's still Queen.
Okay. Wait, how many years is it between episode 1 and 2? Is it 13 years?
Didn't we go over this? Because I thought I thought Padme was way older than Anakin.
Well,
than
that
they
was
were.
what we had that argument too. But
Yeah.
I think it's 13 years or 10 years.
I think it's 10.
It's 10 years and then 3 years for
Yes.
the Clone Wars. That's what. So it's 10 years. So sometime in those 10 years, she stepped down as queen. Because I think that's what they normally did. The queens weren't lifelong. They had to step down and let someone else become.
Yeah, because
queen.
then the next person was even younger than her.
Maybe I can't remember.
That Indian lady.
Huh?
The next queen, she's that Indian.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember her? In episode 3, I think we see her, or 2.
Probably.
I think it's 3 or 2. No, I think it's 2. When they
I
go
don't know.
back to Nobel, I don't remember.
I have to go watch. I gotta watch the movies again. But I gotta watch.
Oh yeah, no, the one in episode 2, she is older because Padme was the youngest one to ever be elected. That's right.
Okay. Fine.
And it's in the Clone Wars.
So anyway, the point of this episode is this monster is this sea monster is trying to break into this building that's on like the edge of the ocean, and they don't know why, and their blasters do nothing, and so, but Padme's like, well, obviously he's doing this for a reason because these creatures don't come on shore like this, like they're always in the depths of the ocean, and so they go into the building while it's being rammed by the monster, and poachers are in there with a baby one of these. Like, oh, it's the mama trying to get the baby that's trapped. And so they release the baby, open the door, and they go back into the ocean. And
the planet's core, Jeremiah.
The core where in the VCU, Boss Nass's boss is hiding. So,
true.
So
in the planet core.
Ooh, is
that good?
That's kind of good.
Oh.
Maybe you should join the VCU.
I'll let the professionals.
The professionals. And so that was just and Padme was like, sometimes the easiest answer is something like, so she has some proverb type thing, like it's kind of like the opening of a Clone Wars episode, like a little like thing. The lesson that's supposed to be learned from that episode is basically like that, but that's it.
Now the next episode.
All right, and this next one, this was actually interesting on multiple levels. So this is with Sabine and her brother Tristan. And so in spoiler alert, in season 3 of Rebels, Sabine leaves the squad, the Ghost Squadron, for a bit to be on Mandalore with her family. And we don't know what she did for those weeks or months or whatever that she was gone. But this is a little tidbit of what she did. So she was on Mandalore with doing...
Why does her paint job look so different?
Because it's always changing.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
And so her and Tristan are on some mission, and they come across an Imperial outpost, which is built on a giant statue of Tar Vizsla. Like, this is super cool. And because Tar Vizsla is the most famous Mandalorian, who is the first Mandalorian to be inducted into the Jedi Order. And so they raised a giant statue in honor of him. So it has like scaffold, like building, like Imperial post, like stuff built up onto it, and there's stormtroopers up there. And so at this point, Sabine has the dark saber, so she uses it to cut some spots, weak points, and then they blow off the pieces and let Tar Vizsla stand free. And I wish we got like a clearer shot of him, of that statue, where we could see it all. But he's holding the dark saber, all that stuff. So this is my theory, though.
And she had the dark saber at this time too.
Yes. And so I think in season 3 of Mandalorian, when he goes to Mandalore,
we're gonna see the statue.
We're gonna see the statue.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be standing still, or if it's gonna be kind of like on the
Busted.
ground.
Oh, sad. It probably will
Well,
be on the ground after those
because
bombings.
all the huge bombings and stuff. So
It's
I think it would be
definitely on the
cool to
ground.
see this statue. It'd be definitely something I want to see. So you heard it here first, folks. We're gonna see the Tar Vizsla giant statue.
It's either
in one
that
way
or we'll
another.
see like the head of it on the ground, like the Lord of the Rings scene.
I have
when they
no
had
idea what
those.
you're talking about. Sorry.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, so that was a really cool episode that I really liked because it makes me hyped for the Mandalorian season 3.
yeah. Jerk in the chat said, "Oh, I didn't even think about that." And then Will's like, "Oh, true. Yeah,
See, that's why we're here. We're here
this
to
is
help
our
the
job
fans
to let you
embrace
think."
more about Star Wars and look to the future and have a
Mhm.
more full understanding. So,
This next episode is pretty cool too, actually.
yes. So that one was art history. So this next one is called Porgs.
What?
Porgs. Is the same schedule for you?
No.
Which one do you have
Where
next?
is Porgs? Porgs. I have the Porgs is the one after that one. I have the.
So is this
one
like
with-
same as season 1 where like
Yeah, it's like-
one episode switched?
Yeah. What's
Well,
your
it's
next one after Porgs?
Perilous Pursuit.
No.
All right. Well, we're going with my thing because I'm forgetting this guy.
Okay. Well.
So episode 12, Porgs.
Episode 13 on Disney Plus. All right.
So this takes place in episode 8 again, and so Chewie is in the Falcon doing stuff, and some Porgs steal some blue wiring out of the cockpit, and so they chase after the Porgs, and the Porgs take this blue wiring and put it in one of their nests with some baby Porgs, and Chewie wants the cords back, but the Porg parents are like, no, and they look up on the hill, and there's like a tree with like these blue ribbons or what, I don't know exactly what they're supposed to be, but
Leaves.
something.
Stringy leaves.
And so they show like they tried to fly up there to get it, and the wind is so strong that it just blows them down.
They can't fly. Those penguin wannabes.
But they looked at Chewie like, hey, you're strong. You can go up there and get that stuff for us. So Chewie climbs up, grabs some of this blue stringy stuff, brings it down, and they can put that in the nest, and then they give the cords back to Chewie. So
Yeah, this is not the episode I was thinking of that I said was cool.
But this was one of the other episodes where there were no female characters other than
The Porg.
the female
The
mom
Porg.
Porg, assuming that there are.
Well, they're different colors.
Well, one had one color like around the eyes, like a yellow thing, and the other one
Yeah,
didn't. Or
one was
something.
yellow and the other one was like gray, which in the animal kingdom.
Colorful things are the male.
Correct.
Because supposedly they're supposed to distract enemies from the mom who's taking care of the babies. That's the theory.
Oh. I always just thought the guys were more handsome because the other guys aren't handsome. So all the animals guys are handsome and the females aren't.
Oh gosh.
No,
That's
okay.
not how that works, but whatever.
I like my theory better. It's cool.
Also in the animal kingdom, like the males are the one that have to like earn attention from the females, so they do
Yeah,
like
exactly. They have to,
peacocks
show
have like
off.
the big things, and then like other
Or,
birds like
Yeah, like
do dances, and
turkeys have the giant thing with
so yep. Okay. So that was Porgs. Next one, episode 13, Perilous Pursuit.
So 14.
And I tried to remember like at what point in the movie this was. Was this so? This is Rey and Finn on Starkiller base, and they're on a snow speeder and they're being chased by stormtroopers, and it's just them escaping. So is this them on the way?
I'm confused because she has his jacket.
Right. So is this
After?
I think this is before Han dies, when they're on their way to that building, where that the facility where that takes place? Because remember they have to climb up and they're like way up top, looking down, watching
They
it.
are flying in the woods. No,
because it would have been pitch black outside if this was after.
yeah.
So I think this is on their way to that facility where Han talks to Ben and then gets killed.
Okay.
I think that's where it is in the timeline.
All right.
So, like, yeah, so they're chased by the stormtroopers and they escape.
Shoot them.
And
They-
yeah, so that's all that happened.
This is like the one that I'm like they clearly show that they don't die because they go off the cliff, and right before they go off the cliff, they jump over the cliff, and the stormtroopers can't see because of all the snow that they kicked up. But then they jump out before they die, and it like shows them on the pile of snow before the ship went down down the cliff.
Right.
So that's when I was like, oh, kind of disappointed. I wanted to see them die, but it's okay.
Yeah. So that was that. Really simple one. That was another short one. That was
Mhm.
just over 2 minutes long.
Okay, what's next?
Traps and Tribulations.
No.
Is this the one you were excited about?
Nope.
No.
I mean, I am excited for this one.
So this one also takes place on Endor.
I do like this one
And
a lot.
I'm assuming this is also after,
This is right after Vader's already done.
because his flap is open on his chest, right?
Yep, his flap's open on his chest.
Because that takes place while he's fighting Vader, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah, and this is after the battle because they said like they have to set the traps.
right.
And
Right.
Leia is like, why do we have to? The Ewoks come up to Leia and say we have to reset the traps. Leia's like, why do we have to reset the traps? Or there's more troopers still here. And then they find out why they actually have the traps in the first place.
Which is interesting because when we watch the movie, it's like, oh, how did they set up all these traps so quickly? Like in minutes to fight the troopers and the Empire, but like they needed them up for a reason, and it's because there is a Gorax. Now, the Gorax, did we see him in
the
Ewok
movie?
So I remember
it was in the Ewok movie.
They're in the cave, right?
Yep.
And they're in that cage that they could just like climb out
and they could get out the whole time.
Okay, that's where I was like, I couldn't remember.
Because you've seen it before, right?
Well, I remember the name Gorax.
Oh, you didn't remember what it looked like?
But like, I was like, did we see him in the Ewok show? But now that you say yes, now that it's all coming back.
Because it was the very same like way they did like it was like bad screen and
right. So the Gorax is giant monster walking through the woods, and then they starts chasing Luke and Leia, and is Wicket and Kinisa. Is that his sister, right? Kinisa is the sister that's always with them in the Ewok show.
No, that's his lover in the Ewok show.
I thought it.
No, I thought
Wicket's like a kid. He's not like a.
I think they kiss. I'll ask Miles and get back to you, but I think they kiss.
Right. So while they're distracting the Gorax, they're trying to like lure him into a spot where there's a swinging tree trunk, basically sized log. And when it gets in by the thing on the edge by the ocean or the lake or whatever, they're able to cut the ropes. It swings down, hits the Gorax, and knocks him into the water and swampy water, and they're safe. So,
yep. The Gorax is such a cool creature.
It's just crazy that like with the Ewok movies and the shows, like we didn't see any of these other creatures
like during the Battle of Endor.
Yeah, or in the movie, or like this thing. What if like they're trying to take out the chicken walker and a Gorax comes and starts fighting the chicken walker?
That'd be so cool. They need to make a fan fiction video of like, you know, they did like the Obi-Wan and Vader.
Oh yeah.
They should have like a reimagine one where the camera pans over and then Gorax is like ripping the chicken walker in half
That'd be
just for
kind of cool.
fun, or he starts eating them. Like picks up the
Oh boy.
stormtroopers because they're slow, and because Leia won't let the Ewoks eat them.
Yeah. So it was cool because in this episode, Luke needed Leia to use his saber so they could cut the ropes
Yep.
quicker
And
because they were using their spears to cut the lines, which wasn't getting anywhere. So Leia was able to use Luke's saber. So
she was a natural.
Yep.
She grabbed it, flipped it around, and didn't even want to give it back.
And put in work and got it done. So awesome. All right, next one, episode 15, Disarming Lesson.
Oh, see that's the last one for me.
Oh, I don't know. So this one is Ahsoka and Ezra during her time in episode or season 2 of Rebels, and she's training Ezra a little bit with lightsaber stuff. And Ezra is getting arrogant with like how the lightsaber makes him.
He must have just
powerful.
got that, right?
No.
Because no, their conversation is what does she say? She's like, "Oh, where did you get that?"
No. Well, that's what she says, but that's not because he had that saber in season 1.
Yeah, it makes this seem like this is season 1 almost.
No, because they didn't.
That's true.
That was the finale or the first episode of season 2 or something where they meet, but he already had a saber made at that point.
Yeah, I know that. That's why.
So it's like she's just asking, how did you get a saber? Like, like you can't just go down to your Quick Trip or Walgreens and 7-Eleven and get a lightsaber. And he just explains a story about how he met Yoda in a vision, and Yoda gave him a kyber crystal, and so that's where he got his thing. But Ezra is being arrogant with the power that he has with a lightsaber because he's one of the few in the galaxy that has one. And Ahsoka says, "Well, what are you without it?" Blah blah blah, and then takes the kyber crystal and throws it, and then starts attacking Ezra like with her saber. Yeah. And he's like, well, how am I supposed to find my kyber crystal? Blah blah blah. And then he learns to like trust in the Force again and dodge all of her moves just by listening. And then he's still able to find the kyber crystal, put it back in his saber, and blocks, right? And so it's an interesting thing we get. It would have been great if we saw more of her mentorship in Rebels, with Ezra and Kanan, but Ahsoka is just a minor character, so like it would have distracted from Rebels story. But any Ahsoka we get is always great, and so
you can never get enough Ahsoka. All right, so your last one is
Triple Cross.
That's so weird. That was my 12. I think it makes sense to have the Ahsoka one, the last one, because it's Ahsoka.
I guess
this one. Now this is the first of this female characters that we've got in the show.
So we see Kira, Han Solo's original love interest that we meet in the Solo movie.
Not interest, just say lover. Just go in.
Interest because he didn't see her for all those years, so he's interested in her. And then when they meet up, he's still interested in her. But so this one was kind of confusing, just like because it's triple cross. So there's like all these people at play.
And the beginning of it too, like she's just running, getting shot at by IG-88. So it's like it's a lot going on all of a sudden.
So I can't remember what happened. This one got so confusing. So like don't they end up working together? Or
I can tell. I'm watching right now.
Okay.
So she's running from IG-88 on this planet. I don't know what planet it is. Do we?
It looks like Ord Mantell again because it was.
Yeah, kind of.
Or no, I should say this. I think in one of the episodes in the season, it shows. I think it might have been the one where Jin. I guess there's kyber
it's the
crystal
same
stolen
one
because there's like a scene from like a certain angle where it's the same path in 2 episodes, and so I think it's the same planet that Jin was on. It doesn't really matter, but
yeah. Anyway, so she's running from IG-88, and then she runs into this door, and then the door opens, and sure enough, Jeremiah's favorite character is on the other side of the door.
Hondo
Hondo Anaka. And so Hondo's like, pretty much, I got you. You fall for my trap. And so he was working originally with IG-88. Hondo goes to arrest her. Then she says, what did she say?
Hondo's
Oh,
bounty is more.
No. First, she said that IG-88 is worth more than I am. Why wouldn't you work with me? And then Hondo was like, well, if that's the case, I'm worth more than both of you guys. Like, just being Hondo trying to be cocky. And then IG-88 and Hondo kind of turn on each other. Hondo shoots or stuns IG-88, cuffs IG-88, and why he's cuffing him, she picks her cuffs off and then trips, does her cool fighting style that she does, and arrests or puts cuffs on Hondo and betrays both of them. And then
I was waiting for Hondo to say how proud he was of her to like do what he would do.
Yeah.
But
and as she's walking away with the gun pointing at both of them as they're walking, they're like still arguing with each other. Like IG-88's mad that Hondo betrayed him, and then he was like, well, you betrayed me first, and blah blah blah. Like, he's not really that mad because he'll get out.
He always gets out. He always finds a way to get out of sticky situations.
It's a funny. It just showed you how clever she was.
Yeah.
And
so
this has to be after Solo.
Not necessarily.
But Hondo knew that she was part of that.
That's fine. She was in that for years before the Solo movie, and then she took over after. And I doubt that if it was after, she'd be running her own missions.
True.
Because at one point she ends up leading Crimson Dawn by herself. Mm-hmm. So whenever Maul gets out of the, huh?
That's probably before Solo.
Oh yeah, because she wouldn't end up be running her own missions unless it was really big. Because I don't know. Fun fact: I don't know if you know this, but from the comics, where all this stuff is about her, she got in possession of Han and Carbonite before Jabba did.
Yeah.
And then she like fights Vader and like,
yeah,
because she has that fighting style that she learned from. Is it from Maul?
No,
probably.
Isn't it from the guy that Han or she killed?
Yeah, but I think Maul taught him that.
Yo, what's the name of that fighting style, chat?
Kra-Ve-Ra or something like that. What is Kraviva or something like that. I'm not far off. I can tell you that right now.
I mean, you're close, but that's definitely not it.
Close enough. But you know what? I think, after a long day of Maul training his leaders how to fight, you know what they would do to relax?
Was it Krav Maga?
Something like that.
But that's a real fighting style. Is it based off a real fighting style? Krav Maga is like a real, like...
I don't know, dude.
Okay, whatever. Jeremiah, come on, brush up on your fighting.
You ruined my whole transition. So
my bad.
So yeah, they'd have a cup of coffee after their training thing. So here's a listen to our sponsor for today, Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code Empire Radio, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it. All right. So, that's Forces of Destiny Season 2. Now, that was in 2018, so it's been 4 years since it came out. I don't know.
Dang, that's so weird that 2018 was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's been over 2 years since COVID started. Like, time flies when you're having fun.
I feel like we're still in 2019.
But I'm surprised that they haven't done more of these type of things, like little shorts.
I think now because it's on Disney Plus, they don't really have to.
Right, but I'm still saying, like, you'd think that they would still do it just for fun, because this would have been season 2 would have been a year and a half before Disney Plus came out. But I don't know, like these little stories are fun just to watch. And there's like have you seen there's the blips, Star Wars blips, which are literally like 30-second long things. They're also on Disney Plus, but those are like terrible. They're really bad because they're like 30 seconds. But
well, like I said last week, like these definitely were for the these were definitely more for a toy thing, and also to get more girl audience too. Like
possibly, yeah.
Well, that's like the toy line is advertised like that. Like they're literally Barbie dolls that are Star Wars characters. That's like what the toys are for this line. So it was definitely like an advertisement ploy to sell something. Before, like in the hiatus before 9 came out and Disney Plus announced the Mandalorian show and stuff like that.
Right. But I don't know. They should.
I mean,
add more of these.
Jeremiah, if they do anything like this, we're gonna get little short clips of Grogu.
Oh gosh.
And that's what we're gonna get. And you know that's true.
I'm done with that Grogu gimmick, but apparently we have to have him now back in season 3.
Season 3, we're getting him a lot.
Gosh, dang it.
The whole time.
Hopefully he gets eaten by a
nope,
mythosaur
that will
or
not,
something.
Definitely not happen.
That's gonna happen. It better happen.
It's not gonna. I can guarantee.
Kill that gimmick off. We don't
Wow.
need him. I'm done with him.
All right. Well, I don't stand with that, so you guys know. I'm
All
okay
right.
with Grogu still.
Well, that's tonight's episode, season 2 of Forces of Destiny. That's all wrapped up. And so, that being said, let's transition over to everyone's favorite time of the night, voicemails.
It's voicemail time. That it is.
Yep. So, we got a bunch of voicemails. And I gotta add one more, because now that we have these out, I can add the last one, which I believe is this one. I think. So, we have 2 here that, well, one for sure is not a VCU thing. Second one, I don't know if it was supposed to be a VCU thing, but I'm going to say it's not a VCU thing, so we're going to make it that.
So if you sent that, apologize if it was supposed to be a VCU scene.
All right, so first one of this regular voicemail is from Brady with a quick question.
All right.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Brady here. Just wanted to leave you a quick message with a question for y'all. Who would you rather fight in a duel? Broom Kid or Jar Jar Binks? I look forward to hearing your response.
Who would we like to see in a duel?
Now, who would we want to fight?
Oh, Broom
Broom
Kid all
Kid?
day.
Why wouldn't you want to fight Jar Jar?
Jar Jar is the Lord of the Sith, and I don't want to deal with that
But Broom Kid is possibly
trash. And
the
I
strongest Jedi in the history of
possibly,
Force
but
users.
at this point he's not, and all it takes is a little mop and a bucket to take him down. You know,
You sure about that?
I'm not sure, but I'm gonna go with that. Besides, I'm Broom Kid anyways, so just being on myself.
Okay. I don't know. I think it's pretty hard because Jar Jar is tall. Like he's probably 7 feet tall or something. How tall is he? He's super tall, isn't he? And he's like big and clunky. Like it'd be hard to fight him. But Broom Kid is much smaller, but he's force sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I want to say Broom Kid just because I have the height advantage. I have the high ground. But Jar Jar, he might be too clumsy, so he might be able to go down pretty easy if I fight him.
Yeah,
So
I don't think so. Did you see how he took out all those droids? He dropped the gun on his foot, and he still killed them all.
that is true.
It's a beast, dude.
I don't know.
And he can do backflips
I'm
and
gonna go with
and...
Jar Jar. I think I could take him.
Well, you heard it here first, chat. Jeremy over there thinks he can take on Jar Jar, so
Yep.
yeah.
All right. So this next one. Now in the past we've heard messages from Drew's keyboard,
Oh,
but
here
this
we go.
one is a mysterious keyboard. So I don't know if this was supposed to be part of the VCU, if this is like,
Oh, I get it.
but
I understand what you're saying now. Like we don't know what they're saying, so it's okay.
so we don't know. So I'm gonna say it's not. So let's just hear. It's different than a previous keyboard voicemail. So let's listen to this mysterious keyboard.
That keyboard's broken. It's not my keyboard. Is that it?
That's it. So I don't know what that means.
I
don't know. It was sounding kind of janky. I don't know.
Someone dropped their keyboard.
Dropped their keyboard and they lost all their keys or something, but I don't know. So there's that. But now those are the first two that are out. Now we're gonna enter in to the VCU section of the thing. So we have some really juicy
up for this one.
We have some juicy voicemails that are game changers.
Jerica, real quick, said, "Did mine not go through? I sent a non-VCU one. It's all good either way, though."
I can quick check. Was it last week that she sent it, or when did she send it? Because
Jerica, was it last week?
Because she sent her book one. What would it take for me to read? It didn't go through. I didn't get an email. But
she said she did send it to make sure there was more than just VCU stuff.
Unless she sent it after 7:30 tonight.
She sent it today.
I'm sorry, it did not go through, Jerica. I didn't get anything. Sorry about that. I don't know what the issue is. But that just means we have something to look forward to next week from Jerica. So that's exciting.
True. Sorry, Jerica.
So, last week in the VCU, we found out that Lucy and Will were not on speaking terms because they had a big fight. So
True.
Will sent in a message about that fight. This is the fight. This is the argument that they had. So this is kind of like going back in time a little bit to fill in what this argument was about. So let's have a listen from Will.
Yes, Lucy? Oh, what? This in the background? What? It's the rain on Camino. What's the problem? Oh, you can't sleep? Who can't sleep to the rain of Camino? Come on. So you're gonna make me turn this off? All because you can't? Oh, okay. There, it's off. I guess you can sleep now. God. Who knew sharing a prison cell with you would be so just annoying? Gosh.
All right.
Well, that's all they fought.
So they fought. Will has a noisemaker for when he sleeps, and he listens to the rain of Camino to fall asleep.
That's funny.
So that's what that argument was about, that we didn't know him. So apparently Lucy likes it when it's just dead quiet, which is
that how you like it, Jeremiah?
That's how I like it. I
See,
need complete silence.
My son has a white noise machine.
Yeah.
Because that's like allegedly what they say it sounds like inside of when they're babies. So I don't look at me like I don't know.
I don't know.
Allegedly, when they're in their mother's room, it sounds like a white noise.
I just feel like
it's probably propaganda.
I just feel like those noisemakers for babies will cause the babies to be dependent on that.
I was just about to say that.
So it's like,
because of that, he is dependent on that. So anytime he ever has to like if we're at my in-laws and he actually has to sleep, like if you guys don't know, my kid goes to sleep at 7 sharp on the dot. 7 o'clock, he's dead tired. He's ready for bed, which means on the weekends you literally can't do anything. So if we're like at my in-laws at 7 o'clock, I have to go put him into my brother-in-law's room, and I use like a white noise thing on YouTube, and I leave my phone next to him for the entire night. So if you're trying to reach me, that's past 7 o'clock on the weekend. Most likely, I don't have my phone because my son's using it as he's sleeping. So,
but now that he's hooked on that, he's gonna have to buy a new one or a new app every so often.
We have like a little box, but we don't bring it with us everywhere.
Right.
But I was gonna say because of that though, because my son also his crib's in our room because obviously he's a baby. I'm dependent on that now, and it's super annoying. So Andrew and Tanner, when we go to that ICCC con,
no, you're not.
I'm just kidding.
No,
I won't do it.
That'd be terrible.
But
I hate in the summer when like I need to have a fan blowing on me. I hate the sound of the fan.
Oh really? You don't get used to it?
I hate it. I don't. Well, I have to get used to it because it just ends up becoming white noise and you don't notice it. But I'd rather it be quiet. But then here's the thing: I hate in the spring and the summer because super early at like 4 o'clock in the morning, these birds just start chirping like crazy outside my window, and it wakes me up. And I already don't sleep well, and these stupid birds.
Yeah, sure. You have birds that live on your porch. I was gonna bring this up when Andrew's back on, but what's your thoughts, Jeremiah, about never doing daylight savings ever again?
Well, if it's a national thing, that's fine. I don't care.
It is.
But if it's just a Minnesota thing, that like I
said,
it's
a national thing. You got passed.
Well, there's both. The Minnesota one wanted to do it, and then the federal one, but there's still multiple phases of being fully passed.
But I think it was passed here for sure.
I don't know. If it's only Minnesota, that's stupid because that screws up everything. Because half the year we're in one time zone, and the other half we're in a different time zone.
Yeah, it'll be annoying.
So,
but they all do it. It's like whatever. Either way, though, it is kind of annoying because.
But you also got to keep in mind that if we keep it, if they do get rid of daylight savings, in the winter,
It's gonna be dark.
it's gonna be sunrise will be at like 8:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like pitch black until like 8:30, and then it'll start getting a little bit brighter between 8:30 and 9.
Yeah, but I was like telling my wife about it, like I'm gonna go to work in the dark. When I get off at 5, it's gonna be dark again almost. So I'm never gonna see the sun in the winter ever. Like, I'll never see the daylight, especially because toward the end of winter, or beginning like middle of it, we don't even get the sun. Like the sun sets at like 4:30.
Yeah.
So if the sun's setting at 5:30, because it'll be pushed back, but I don't get to work until I start work at like 8:30. I'm never gonna see the sun in the winter. It's gonna be super annoying. So I was kind of bummed that like if they're gonna keep it, let's do the other time zone, not this one.
I don't know.
That's my opinion because I'm okay with not getting or like losing some daylight at the end of the day, but not the beginning of the day. No, I don't know. It's whatever.
Yep.
First
so anyway, back to
problems.
VCU. VCU.
Yeah,
That's the argument between Will and Lucy, and that's why they're not on
makes sense.
speaking terms.
Will, I'm on your side because I'm used to it.
All right, so these next two, we have a new player in the mix. Someone else wanted to join into the VCU.
Ooh.
And this is kind of pretty funny, these next two. So let's have a listen from Daddy Pelps.
Oh, he was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but
hey, Daddy Pelps here. Just want to let you know that I ran into old Palpatine boy up at the Quick Trip on Canto Bite, and yeah, turns out he's a big fan of old Daddy here, and he got a little bit of my blood sample or something like that, and he checked it on his looked like a little Gillette shaver. Anyways, so turns out I got something like 52,000 midi-chlorians, so don't know if that's a lot, but yeah, he said get lost, Vader. So now I guess I'm the new apprentice. Yeah, watch out for Darth Daddy coming after you guys. Little Lucy and, well, yeah, better watch out. Okay, now, bye.
Darth Daddy in the house. Let's go.
So Palpatine recruited Daddy Pelps to be his new apprentice because he has 52,000 count of midi-chlorians. And he met him at the quick trip on Canto Bite. All right. So that being said, here's a second one from Darth Daddy himself.
Darth Daddy. I like it.
Hey, Darth Daddy here, back again for part 2. Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that Palpatine gave me one of Darth Vader's capes and the tops of one of his helmet. And it looks a little funny if you ask me, because it's just the top. I don't know if you've ever seen Spaceballs, but that's kind of the vibes I'm getting here. Kind of bobbles when I walk, but I don't know how much it matches the old Justin Boots. But Palpatine gave me the thumbs up, so I'm going with it. Anywho, I think we're working on Death Star 14 right now. So it's going to be up and running here in the next couple months if my contractor will ever get back to me. Anyways, so yeah, Resistance ain't got no chance anymore. So with Thrawn on the way and everything, good luck, guys. Bye. Darth Daddy out.
Dude, the best ever, Darth Daddy.
So that's,
oh my gosh,
so
with the Spaceballs outfit, let's go.
So he's helping build the Death Star number 14. He has the whole garb on, Darth Vader stuff on, but it's not full costume. So like Palpatine, if you're listening, I know you are. You got a new apprentice, and so there's a lot going on that you're directing and stuff with throughout the galaxy. You're seeing the Resistance. You know what's about Lucy. You know about your defector and the Gungans and stuff. So now you got a new apprentice. So hopefully he can handle this new apprentice and the rest of the things going on in the galaxy.
Yeah. Now, Jeremiah, before we get into this next voicemail, do you want to mention what you're talking to me about? Or do you want to do that at the end of these voicemails?
I forgot what we talked about.
All right. Well, I'll just say it now because I'm thinking of a drawing of Darth Daddy right now.
No, we'll do that at the end.
Okay.
We'll do that at the end.
Okay.
All right. So now we have 3 voicemails from Lucy, and things I just have to play them because these are pretty great. So first one from Lucy picks up pretty quickly after when we last heard. So last time we heard,
wasn't she kidnapped? Or she
no,
got
so
found again?
we find out that she was a defected Mandalorian,
Oh yeah.
and someone that she knows named by the name of Dakai shows up and says, "Return to the Mandalorians, or I'm going to kill you." So this is the first message from Lucy.
Hi everyone, it's Lucy, and I'm being marched down this hallway because some guards overheard us planning our escape and are separating us. Dakai had to leave when the garrison came into her cell with Colonel Doss, so my life has been spared temporarily. Hey, troopers, can some of you stick around? See, my brother's trying to kill me and could come back at any minute. Ha, like we're falling for that. Come on, TK-478. Darn it! I can only hope Dakai left. Well, your hope is misplaced as usual, little sister. I'm not done with you yet. Look, if you let me live, I promise you'll never see me again. As tempting as that is, you know enough about us to pose a threat. So I ask you one last time, come back. I can't do that, Dakai. You're turning a blind eye to all the people being hurt by the First Order. You don't understand that you are all in danger. Well, no one's going to care about your mysterious death. That would be incorrect. Thrawn?
Huh? Wait, first of all, that's her brother.
So we made a mistake last week. We thought Dakai was a female, but when a female is doing the voices of everyone,
It's kind of hard.
it's kind of hard. So Dakai is Lucy's older brother. That's
Who's gonna murder her sister?
his sister, yes.
What kind of family?
So while he's making this threat, we hear the door open, we hear and then Thrawn is there.
Thrawn killed her brother.
So that being said, let's listen to the second voicemail from Lucy.
Thrawn? You just knocked out my brother.
Oh.
I need you alive, and the chance of him letting you stay that way was slim. Now, I know you were born a Mandalorian, but left to join General Organa's forces under the assumption it would save your family. You made your way up the ranks, although you weren't fully accepted by many members. Your story is similar to mine in many ways. If this is a trick, not a trick, merely perspective, tell me this, Lucy. If your family and people were in danger, would you do something to help them, even if the resistance disapproved? I would. They hate me, but I'm doing everything for them. Then you understand me. I don't get... Oh, you're talking about the Grand Gungan army attacking the Chiss. Indeed. I see you have great potential. I now have a mutually beneficial request. I would like you and I to establish an alliance between the Resistance and the Chiss Ascendancy.
So Thrawn was sent. So I'm trying to remember from previous voicemails. So Thrawn was sent by Palpatine to investigate Lucy, to interrogate Lucy or whatever. But Thrawn has his own motives now so he knows about Lucy and what she's doing, that she was a Mandalorian. So he's been keeping his eye on Lucy for a while, and knows that he can manipulate. I don't want to say manipulate, but they have a common interest or a common story, and so he's like, my people are in danger.
Well, it's like one of
and-
those things like you keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
right.
And in
he's
this
like,
situation, he needs her help because
his people are being attacked by the Grand Army of the Gungans or whatever.
Mhm,
And so the Chiss are being wiped out by the Gungans,
mhm.
and he needs more military help, which would be the Resistance. And so,
The First Order probably doesn't care, right?
well, they care about people being killed in injustice, civil wars, and chaos. Like, they want to intervene in these things to keep peace, because this is what they do. And that's what Lucy's been saying. Like, we know we're about like justice and helping people when Dekai showed up last week. And so,
I'm saying the First Order doesn't, because isn't Thrawn with the First Order right now?
right, but he has his own motives to keep his people safe.
Yeah, because the First Order doesn't care about his people. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. And so
Yeah.
he's like, I need help from the Resistance
Mhm.
to have an alliance between the Chiss and the first Resistance. And so he's trying to recruit Lucy to help this because he's his in to the Resistance. And so, that being said, let's listen to the third voicemail from Lucy.
An alliance? I don't understand. I think you do. My people are prideful and will not accept help unless there was no other option, but I believe things will soon take a dire turn for the Chiss. Would Gungans really be that big of a threat to you? It's not just the Gungans. With your defenses occupied, all your enemies could attack at once. You could be facing the threat of Nicardoon, Agbui, Grisks, and Boss Nass's army. Well done. You seem to know much about my people and our adversaries. Yeah, Timothy Zahn does too. Look, I'll do my best to convince the Resistance, but I can't do that if I'm still locked up. Leave that to me. Also, if we start forming alliances, it could start another galactic war. Is it worse to be drawn into another war, or stand aside as an entire species perishes? In that case, on behalf of the Resistance, I agree to this alliance. Thank you. Come with me, and I will free you and your friends.
All right. The alliance has been made.
That is so funny that she said that. Is that part of the jokes that you were talking about? Because that was hilarious.
No, that's not one of the jokes. Sorry.
Oh.
I haven't read any Timothy Zahn books, so I couldn't tell you
Well,
how. I
it's
know
not
who he
even that.
is. I
It's
just
the
don't know the
fact
joke.
that, well, the joke was the fact that she was mentioning all this stuff from the books. So when he said, "Oh, you know enough," and she's like, "Yeah, well, Timothy Zahn told me everything."
I get that. I'm just
That's the joke. That's hilarious.
sorry.
That's so funny.
I haven't read the book, so I don't have a personal connection with it. But yes, so Lucy has made this alliance with Thrawn, and Thrawn is now going to break her and her friends. So, Will, Poe, BB-8, and from the first voicemail that we got from her today, that the reason Dekai had to leave the cell was because the troopers were coming with Colonel Valen Doss, who was captured and being brought to the facility. So, and Colonel Valen Doss was the defector, the First Order ISB agent who was defecting to the Resistance.
Yeah.
So, that being said,
Oh.
let's hear a voicemail from Valen Doss.
Ooh.
Emperor Palpatine, this is Colonel Doss. Your plan is going exactly as we foresaw it. The rebels, they think that I'm one of them now, a defector. We can feed them information, false information, and lure them into your trap. And even better, the Mandalorians are involved now. We can crush two birds with one stone, get rid of those pesky Mandalorian slime, and crush the Resistance all at once. Nobody can stand in the way of Imperial domination. I'm with them now. They're taking me back to their base. I'll keep you updated.
All right. So this whole time we thought Valen Doss was a defector, but actually he's an undercover agent sent by Palpatine himself. And so, Thrawn is taking Lucy and the rest everybody else with him to get help from the Resistance. And Valen Doss seems to say, "Hey, I'm on their way to their base." And so this was another perfect VCU thing where he is now with Thrawn, Lucy, Will, Poe, and BB-8, and he's going to feed information to Palpatine while undercover. So we got a lot going on now.
What's crazy is that I just remembered once again that these people aren't talking about it. They're sending in voicemails.
Right.
Like they line up so well, and so.
Well, it was funny because last night, so before Valen Doss has his sent in, and then we got one more that has been sent in. Last night I was like, this VCU stuff is working really good, and this other person in Discord said that he hadn't sent in anything yet. I'm like, you can send it in, but don't mess up with this continuity because it's pretty good right now. And so then he sent in these two, and so this one works perfectly. Like, he was brought to the base based on Lucy's message, and now he's there and he's with them after they escaped. And so it happened to work out perfectly again. So,
as the Force wills it.
Yep. I was like every week I'm just scared that
I'm like on edge, shatter. And a lot of that edge is the fact that is it gonna work?
Right.
But it keeps working, and now I'm becoming numb to it, which is crazy. So I know you listeners think people have been messaging us thinking that this is fake. This is not fake.
This is the real deal.
This is the VCU. It's a real situation that's happening out of our control.
Like Daddy Palps just said, "I'm jumping right in."
Yeah.
And so
Dark Daddy next week. I'm so pumped.
I'm not saying that I don't want to be like a mean person, but don't just everyone start jumping in because then it's gonna fall apart. So
Jeremiah's looking at you, Jerica. No,
I want as few people as possible to jump in, just so the continuity has.
Or do we?
I don't know. I want this to have an ending that makes sense.
True.
And so I don't know. I don't know if I want to give a date of when this is all comes to a conclusion.
It's out of our control, Jeremiah.
But I'm trying to make
if it breaks, we'll let it break.
Okay. So before we get into that, we got one more.
Yes.
I told the person I did not want to play this one because it's just
Jerica. Hey!
No, this is not Jerica.
No, I know, but when I said Jerica, Jeremiah's looking at you, don't send in one. And then she said, hey, all cap. Oh. Just throwing shade, I'm just kidding.
Because this one anyway, this one is from the 17th brother who has been searching for a Jedi. So let's listen to the 17th brother.
Hello, Empire Radio. This is the 17th brother. I've tracked down the Jedi. He's wandering around the system of Endor, the Force Moon, scavenging the remains of the Death Star, from what I can tell. I don't know why, but I can sense him. He's desperate. I'm landing my ship now, right on top of him. Oh, yes. I'm getting out. I see. No. Not you. I thought you were dead. How is this possible? I see why they sent me after you. You're too powerful for any normal individual to capture. No. Yes. Misa back.
What?
So, okay. It seems to imply that this Jedi with the Misa could be Jedi Master or Jedi somebody Binks. Now, I don't think Jar Jar's the only one that speaks like that. So it's definitely a Gungan. I'm hoping it's not Jar Jar Binks to whoever is sending in these voicemails.
Dark Jar Jar in the house?
But it's a Jedi though, not Darth Jedi. Darth.
Not yet. This
Jar
could
Jar.
be his origin story about how he turns.
No, I don't want that. Sorry. Because this could just derail the whole thing. So we know if it's a Gungan, it makes sense because we have the grand army of the Gungans fighting the Chiss right now. They took over Mustafar, all that stuff. So this could be a Force-sensitive Gungan who maybe is going to intervene with the Gungans at some point. Because if the Gungans are doing something full of injustice by attacking these innocent planets, then maybe this Jedi Gungan will talk sense to bring good. I don't know. But the 17th brother has confronted him, so there could be a fight. And this could just be all, they could kill each other. One could die next week or something. But I'm just hoping this is
murder
not...
the 17th brother and become Sith Lord.
I'm just hoping that this is not Darth Jar Jar or Jedi Jar Jar. I don't know. I can't... It's in the hands of the fans to write the story.
Let it happen.
But
I was hoping randomly, what if that he would have been like, "It's you, Daddy Darth." I was like, no way.
That would have been... Then we would know that they've been talking.
Like, no. This is totally rigged.
But yes, so this was a juicy week this week.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
We know that Will likes to sleep to the rain on Camino. We know that Thrawn has recruited Lucy to help with fighting against the Gungan army that are slaughtering the Chiss. Valen Doss is a mole now. He's sent by Palpatine to be a spy in the Resistance. And now the 17th brother has found seemingly a Gungan Jedi who is more powerful than we could possibly imagine.
Yes.
So that is where we're at with the VCU.
And in the chat, Jerica said, Jeremiah, let them have fun. Now, if it's Jar Jar and that was what you're trying to apply, just go with it. Don't let Jeremiah influence you that much.
Well, I do have the control of putting the voicemails in or not. So, but anyway,
he will.
So here's the thing. I do want a conclusion to this story eventually, because this is what I want to do. I want to take all these voicemails and put them together for like one big long thing where you can just push play and you can just hear the story play out. Correct. So I would have to organize them in a certain order just so like they play in chronological order and in a way that would make sense. But I can't do that if it goes on for the next 3 years and it's like...
Yeah, no, not 3 years.
So like, I don't know. I don't want to like put... I don't want to say by... Maybe like by Star Wars Day, which is in a month. I don't know. I don't want to put a definitive thing, but if we could just get a conclusion in the near future, the next month and a half, 2 months or something.
We don't want to put that much pressure. Like, we don't want to stop it. But at the same time, Jeremiah really has this cool idea of having
so
a video.
So this video that I want to make.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how to... Obviously, I'll do the audio version that will go on the podcast, and then I'll have the YouTube version of this. And I want to make it in a way where the video is visually engaging. It's not just a black screen and you're just listening to voices.
Yes.
So I do have a challenge for some of the fans out there.
Do they get a prize or no?
They get to advertise their social medias if they want to do this, but we all love like the Mandalorian and the Boba Fett with like the concept art drawings at the end during the credits. I think it would be cool if we have some really talented artists that are listening to this. If they want to submit drawings of them of these voicemails of Will and BB-8 finding a facility, just like a concept art type thing, and interactions between Lucy and other individuals in the cell, and Thrawn showing up, and Palpatine, doing his thing where he's taking all his phone calls from last week when he's getting interrupted, and the 17th brother, and Valen Doss, and even Darth Daddy meeting Palpatine at Quick Trip. Like, having these like concept arts of these scenes where I can put these in the video and like kind of just like have just kind of slowly zoom in on them as the voicemail is playing or whatever, I think would be really fun and really cool. So if you are listening to this and you are a talented artist and you can draw these, paint these, CGI 3D model these scenes.
I was gonna say, so Zarnotopius the third in the chat said Lego show ? So what if have you seen like when they reenact scenes with stop motion of Lego?
I can't. If
someone filmed that
if
and
you
then
want to do
sent
that,
it to you?
if you want to do that too. So if you
That would be dope too. Like there could be more than one submissions too. Like
right.
like don't feel like, oh, I can draw like one. And then someone brought up in the chat as well, like, I don't know what Will looks like. I don't know what these people look like. That's concept art, right?
Yeah.
That's the point of it.
So-
Just don't make Will look fat. He'll probably get offended. But besides that, just do whatever you want. Like, it's concept art.
Yeah. So if you are an artist and you think you can pull off some amazing drawings, paintings, Lego recreations of these scenes and characters, I am challenging you to reach out to us and submit these things to us. We have our fan email, which is empireradiofans@gmail.com. Or if you're in the Discord, you can just DM me or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you can send us stuff on Instagram too. I guess you could do that.
Yeah, we could take it from any way. If you even want to just do a part of it, like say, hey, I did this part, like we can just pick which parts if we want. I don't know. Do you want to do that? Or do you want someone to claim the whole thing?
Well, if someone wants to do them all and it's all consistent art, that would be pretty cool.
That would be cool, but it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to. Anyone can send in stuff.
And someone will said in the chat, VCU shirts ? So I think if we get enough of you guys that actually do participate, and you guys show us your art style and stuff like that, and we can like break it down to like our top 5 image, and then maybe we can make 5 shirts that we can sell on some website that we're gonna have to figure out again.
Something. We'll figure it.
But I think that would be a cool concept. We've always joked about how we should have T-shirts of memes of us because you guys used to do memes.
Yeah, come on, guys. What happened to the custom
I don't know what
memes?
happened, but y'all stopped doing memes of us every week. Those were pretty cool. But
we had some recently.
Oh, have we? I haven't looked,
but you're so far up now. The thing you go find.
Oh, okay. But anyways.
But yes. So here's the thing: the VCU is a fan creation. These are all randomly coming together for this great story, and so we want the video aspects to have a visualization of these from the fans. That maybe you don't want to send in a voicemail and you can't write these cool stories, but you can draw really well or paint really well, and you want to be part of the VCU. Like, be a fan and do that aspect of the VCU where you're the visual drawings of things. And so I think it'll be really cool. Now I don't know if anyone will even send anything in or not, but I want some really cool.
There's a couple people in the chat already saying that they're gonna start. So but like Jeremiah said, like, this is open to everyone. No one, just send in images. We would love to see your guys' art, and this is a fun way to show your art to us. Like, this would be dope. And like Jeremiah said, under every picture, probably if we do a bunch of different arts from people, we'll tag your Instagram or whatever you want for us to share, and we'll tag your socials in that and under those images. And if we get a top 5 amazing arts that we want to promote as T-shirts, and if you guys vote on them or something, we'll figure it out. But like Jeremiah said, it does kind of need an ND in order for this to work. Yeah. But this is a really cool concept now. This thing has been growing a lot, and
it's been what, like 6 weeks now or 7 weeks that we've been doing this? See. I haven't even
don't
started to
remember.
like put this video together. Like I need to like take the voicemails and actually
You
just
need to start doing that.
start
At
putting the
least do the
audio.
audio.
Yeah,
At least.
because now I'm like 50 voicemails into this,
Yeah.
and I have no idea what to do.
You gotta at least
So,
start doing the audio part.
I gotta start doing that. So I'm excited what this could be someday, and so I want this to be cool. This is the fan creation made by the Empire Radio fans, the Imperial Fleet. So
Dude, if someone did a stop motion Lego of this, would be so cool. That would be amazing.
or have you seen? There's a YouTube channel that Cinema Captures. Like the guy did that one like short film of like the clone commandos that like the senator was kidnapped by the droids and they're like in the but they put on the trooper armor. Have you seen that one?
No.
It's like the most amazing fan made like it's not stop mocap stuff. I gotta send it to you. But it's the best, one of the best fan made things, and it's a Clone Wars story that they did. It's like 5-minute thing, and it's like all like 3D animated, best stuff like Hollywood couldn't do better type of thing. It's like maybe if you're Cinema Captures, if you're listening and you want to do this whole movie for me,
that would be dope.
I can send you a bag of Wesley Andrews coffee, but I don't know if I can pay you.
True.
But.
And we're not paying for any of this stuff because this is fan
stuff. But
and we're doing it for you, and also we just want to see it. Like I just want to visually see this. Like I don't even like. We're not gonna make money on this, obviously, but I just want to see what this looks like because this is really cool. So, let's keep going as a community, as Empire Radio, as an Imperial Fleet community, and let's make this happen for me and Jeremiah to watch. I just want to see this. This sounds so dope. Like this would be so cool. And if you guys know amazing artists that want to just get plugs on multiple places, you can pitch them this idea and see if they'll do it too.
Yeah.
And also tell them to listen to us because why?
I want to know who is drawing the concept art for the shows like Mandalorian and stuff like. What if like someone like their parent is the person drawing this and like
what if the concept art person listens to us?
That'd be crazy.
If you're listening to us, do it. Just do it for us, please.
Right. So that's my challenge to the fans. I hope it comes out really well. I hope it works. If not, then I'll just have to like take a picture of a prison cell from Clone Wars or something and just have that.
It'll be a lot more work for you, but yeah.
The screenshot something or just
a screenshot of like everything, like just a picture of Dark Jar Jar flashes on the screen real quick. And
what I did last night in the Discord. So I brought this up in the Discord last night, kind of, and or whatever. And so Will has in the VCU a lightsaber now, and so I took
he just found it or whatever.
So I took Empire Radio, our Instagram is friends with or liked his Instagram, so like I could see pictures of him on his Instagram.
Yeah,
and so I took one and I removed the background, so I just have his face, and I put it on TOB1 from Visions. When he's holding his lightsaber.
Oh my gosh!
Like this is what I'm gonna use for when Will is breaking out of prison or whatever with his lightsaber. But yeah. So anyway, that's the VCU for tonight. So we just have to finish up with our socials, and that is it. So go to links.co/Empire Radio, links with 2 eyes, landing page for everything Empire Radio. So our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Discord link, also needlesslynerdy.com. We're part of that website network of nerdy podcast stuff, and so definitely check them out. And even though this is not in our landing page, but like I said, our email for our fans, if they just want to reach out to us, if you're not in the Discord or whatever, it's EmpireRadioFans@gmail.com. So
we should add that to our landing page, probably.
We probably should, but So, and if you can just email us about anything, like if you don't not in the Discord and you don't want to like be part of that, but you just want to send us a message, you can do it that way too. Or
if you have like if you want to give us some feedback on there instead of doing a review on like iTunes or something, you can always just give us feedback or just whatever you want to do. You can always just send us
Yeah.
emails.
So I've been checking it more often just because I, you know, have
You
put it
never
out
know
there
what you're gonna get. It's like a
recently.
box of chocolate. So
Yeah. So send us email, especially if you are submitting artwork for the VCU. But
yes.
yeah, I think that's everything for tonight. Anything else, Drew?
Um,
Any more?
just
I don't think was there anything else
no,
we're gonna talk about? I can't remember. But
no. I'm really excited to see what the fans bring to us. With their art style. Oh, real quick again, if you are going to ICCCCon in Nashville on the 29th of this month, make sure you try to find me and Andrew and Tanner walking around. We'll most likely be wearing Empire Radio merch throughout the weekend, and don't feel shy and come say hi. We love to hang out with you guys, and also the live stream will be that Saturday, the 30th, around 3 o'clock on Saturday. So
fun.
we'll post the links in our Instagram and probably in Discord and stuff, so you guys know when we're doing that live stream podcast. So yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so you have been listening to another VCU-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah,
I'm Drew.
and may the Force be with you.
Always.